You're successful. You've rebuilt your career, your confidence, maybe even your entire life after divorce. But there's one thing that you still can't figure out is why love keeps getting it wrong. Is that the apps, or is it men, or is it something you can't see because it's happening inside of you? Today's guest is a global matchmaker who creates power couples for a living. She doesn't do swiping. She doesn't do volume. She does surgical precision, matchmaking high-achieving leaders with the kind of partnership that multiplies everything. And she says the reason most divorced women can't find love has nothing to do with the dating pool. It's a pattern they don't even know they're running. So stay tuned, because my guest is going to she's going to talk about how taking dating from disaster to divine intervention. Welcome back. Welcome to Divorcing Strong, the podcast that pulls no punches when it comes to divorce. I'm Becky Sampson, better known as Bulldog Becky Brockovich, and I'm here to give you the straight talk, the strategies, and the subpoena secrets you won't hear anywhere else. With expert guests and proven advice, you'll learn your rights, your options, and gain your power that encourages a fair and equitable outcome. Divorce doesn't have to break you. It can build you. Let's get to it. Well, welcome back to another episode of the Divorcing Strong podcast. I'm Becky Sampson, as always, your host. And today is fun. Some of you that may be listening may not know that many, many years ago, I actually was doing dating coaching after my first divorce, and I worked for a online dating app or a site, interviewing dating experts across the United States. And it was so much fun because I got to learn about all the little techniques and everything that happens in dating to make it work. So I'm excited about our guest today because she is a matchmaker. I love that she's been doing this for a long time, ever since, and then she made a career out of it. So with that, we're going to do on today's episode of Divorcing Strong. Our conversation is one that I've been waiting for a long time, because we talk a lot on this show about surviving divorce, the legal battles, the emotional wreckage, and the co-parenting chaos. But at some point, you need to look up and think, okay, now what's? Am I ever going to love again? My guest today has answers. Alla Fine is a globally recognized matchmaker, love strategist, and relationship coach. She's the founder of Fine Love Match and the creator of Soul Method, a 4-pillar coaching framework that helps high-achieving singles stop dating from fear and start dating from emotional wholeness. She serves executives, founders, and leaders across the globe, people who've mastered everything in life except the one thing that matters most. So welcome to the show, Alla.
Thank you so much, Becky. So happy to be here.
Yes, I love it. We were talking before the show about how exciting it is to take people and match them with their, I say, divine intervention, right? Like I feel like the man that I'm married to now, it's like, oh my gosh, where have you been all my life? You know what I mean? But there was very strategic things to preparing myself for this type of relationship. So I hope that we can kind of dive into that. But before we do, welcome. So excited that you took the time. But tell everybody kind of what your backstory is what got you into this industry and what makes you so passionate about serving people in their dating, matchmaking their divine partner.
Okay, well, believe it or not, my story began at 18 years old when I just decided to do this for fun. And I was introducing my girlfriends at the time to their then husbands, but became husbands. And I had always had a knack for it. And it was something that was, because I'm a romantic. And I think a lot of people on, let's say, LinkedIn, at least alone, know that and constantly comment on the fact that I'm so romantic. And I always been. And I feel that people deserve to love, be loved, in love. We're all products of love. And I think as a result, we all should be intentional about finding love, not just thinking it's going to catch up with us one day.
Yep.
And so my story began as a hobby. I've been doing this for a very, very long time, intuitively connecting people because I believed they actually can connect to someone, even though they have not seen the pattern or did not know that person. After meeting them, I just like, oh, I have someone for you. And that's how it's all started. It just like snowballed from there.
Well, you mentioned that you were actually a recruiter for many years. I mean, this is basically recruiting for dates,
You
right?
know, I had no idea at the time. Again, this is like life took over. I mean, I was just like doing this for fun. I never, recruiting came way, way down the road for me. I mean, it
Mhm.
was, I've done so many different things in life, actually. It's shocking. And, but it's okay because I feel like it actually came to who I am today. I was able to utilize all my skills over the course of my life, completely different industries in some cases, very unrelated. But yes, recruiting was definitely down the road. And now, as a love coach, dating strategist, and a matchmaker, I do use my recruiting skills as needed. Just the other day, I actually recruited someone completely like from like literally like out of the hat.
Mm.
He had no idea that I was very strategic, approach. And I recruited him and introduced him to my female client, and she's so happy.
That's awesome. You and I were talking before the show even started that we're such connectors, like connectors, networking, and it kind of falls into that same category is that when we see a need and somebody and we know somebody that can fulfill that need, then I have so much joy bringing those people together
Mm,
and being like, there you go, you guys need to meet. And
exactly,
let it develop.
exactly. And it's very, it's so gratifying to know that you are responsible for two hearts that would be normally astray, not knowing where they are, or could be even across states, countries. I mean,
Mhm.
it happens. It happens. And to be part of it, it's just so transformational as an individual for them and for myself as well. To know there are so many couples um, that I've managed to bring together. I don't discuss it too frequently and openly because it's very confidential,
Mhm.
and I actually value that and respect their privacy. So with me, it's high-end privacy. I don't discuss anything unless they allow me. And even in those cases, I have to like alter their either name, no last name, or like image or blurred image. Very, very confidential.
Yeah.
No,
So when you worked with people or women, you work mostly with women or women and men?
men and women together, most because I cater to both. Anybody who wants love, I'm here.
Nice. And so, what do you think is the number one pattern that divorced women repeat after realizing it? Like, without realizing it, I should say, when it comes to getting into new relationships after a divorce?
Um, I think it's I think it really, in both cases, in men and women alike, they jump too quickly, too fast into the dating pool when they're not ready. That's the first red flag. Uh,
Mhm.
the, the second piece is really allowing themselves to really heal and truly assess and be aware why they are in where they are at the moment. That moment in time is critical to where they're going to be going in future. So taking it all in is just an issue that most don't want to deal with because from a painful perspective, reliving this. But again, to relive it is to put final closure into it. And I know in terms of relationships, sometimes no answer is closure in itself, but this is very different because here it's inner work that has to be done. So the patterns are not repetitive.
So, when you're working with somebody, how do you know that they're not ready, or that you sense that they're not ready, or they are ready?
Oh, I sense it right away, immediately. Immediately, even though they come off in explaining about themselves slightly. This is like post the application process. First, if they do the application, and then so I have some kind of bearing of who they are, so I can ask additional questions during their interview.
Mhm.
And generally, people want to come off obviously in a positive tone. Of course, I mean, self-prophecy, self-promotion is always good. But as long as it's realistic and as long as you really truly feel inside that you are complete versus trying to camouflage of who you are and really what you are, seeking. So there's a little disconnect there, and people don't come forward enough and be open and honest. And then again, I also interviewed someone else the other day, and he was very forthcoming. Everything that he's gone through, his divorces, where he's been, professionally, medically, this is like a breath of fresh air. These are people who are truly ready for their soulmate, truly ready. And the others, unfortunately, think they are ready, and they give me like all the reasons. I have someone else who contacted me on LinkedIn the other last week and said that I should add him to my database to introduce to my clients to this essentially a stranger, because he has a good financial status and because he would be a good catch for my clients. I thought it was a little odd, honestly. I don't know anything about you guys. So I mean, there's different people and the way they view themselves. And I'm not trying to diminish. He may be in his own right amazing, but not that approach. When you come to a matchmaker, you want to be fully vulnerable and open. Like, why would I want to list someone in my database just because they have an amazing profile on LinkedIn and potentially a catch? That may be, but I need more. So I will not introduce people that I don't know. I will not introduce people if they're not open and realistic about expectation of who they want to meet, because he is using his credentials to get into my database.
Yeah, you probably have experienced this because you're a networker as well. But over the years, and I'm not saying I'm perfect at it, but I've honed this ability to be able to see the difference between a taker and a giver. And I believe relationships, this is just my own philosophy, but relationships are a give and receive, not a give and take.
Absolutely.
And so when people come in, and that's the same principle with business too. We were just talking about it. Is that if someone comes to me and says, "Hey, Becky, will you do all this stuff for me?" And I have no idea who they are, and they're like, "I have somebody that I see that you're linked into or you're connected to. Will you make the introduction?" And I'm like, I don't even know who you are. Like, I need to make sure that I have some kind of relationship. And I love that. Actually, this does apply. There was a guy that I connected on LinkedIn, and he's very well in the legal field and everything. And the first thing he said out of his mouth when we got on our Zoom call is he says, "Becky, I don't date. I don't marry on the first date." And I said, I get it. I totally understand and respect what you just told me, because he's very influential. And so and in no way would I ever want to do that. I want to build relationships of trust and leave it open to, hey, do you feel like it would be a right match, and create value first. And it's the same thing with dating.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The expectations, that's the problem. People have expectations of you immediately. Just because I'm a matchmaker, people are like, well, you have to introduce me to someone. I'm like, okay, I'll be happy to, but let's get to know each other first. Like, this is very preliminary information that I need in order. And then, whether they complete application prior or, during or after our discussion, it's all, very important. But yes, give and take. People generally want to take, but they don't really give, not only with their time, they just don't feel like even investment. I'm going to go right out there. And people in LinkedIn, you have to listen up to this, because investment in yourself is what bridges the gap between where you are today and where you're going to be tomorrow. Because life is short. And if you are struggling in life, in love, in dating, or how to date effectively, you need to invest in yourself, because love and success are hand in hand. And at the end of the day, all the success in the world that you can have professionally will be nothing if your heart is not full of love.
So talk a little bit about that. How can people invest in themselves? Like, what do they need to do in order to become a more valued person in the dating world?
Self-investment, on a regular scale, like, take care of yourself, be presentable. I have a lot of people that come to me that I feel they're not aligned to at least the levels of the caliber of partnership they're seeking. So they're not aligned physically on that level, or emotionally. That's another investment in people. Have to understand that very critical, so you understand your partner. How are you going to navigate this? How are you going to communicate to your partner if you are still coming from a place of despair or unhealed wounds or unmeshed wounds? I mean, things that are typically people don't think about, because people don't think that love is tangible. And I don't know how else to amplify this very important piece, how love is in fact tangible, and how if you don't invest in yourself, you will really typically will not get to the results or the outcome that you're seeking. Because no love today is like, if you are successful, and successful people, but deep down everybody craves love. They will not be maybe as open even to themselves about it. So they're gonna feel like, oh, it's okay, I'm just gonna work today, or I'm going to think about it later, I'm still young. And then guess what? I have 59-year-olds come to me and they said, I don't know what happened, just like I just blink of an eye, I'm still single, I have no family, I've never been married, I don't know even where I'm going with this, I don't even know how. And guess what? They're also not in the best of health. And that's another major problem. So you're not marketable at this point. And in today's world of dating, in such compatibility issues, and also competition is huge. And
there's a lot in this age group, especially when the older group. I mean, I know it's funny because I've been married. This is my third time and last, so I'm happily married. However, I spent a majority of my adult life single, and it is really tough. It's tough. And I like the intro where we talked about is that it is an inside job. It's like I had to shift. I had to become the person that was marketable. And I remember that this actually reminded me of one time of a guy said to me, he's like, Becky, you're too much. You're going to have to dummy down who you are. And I got thinking to myself, I'm like, you know what? The right guy is going to absolutely love and adore this part of who I am because I'm being authentic.
Exactly. Yeah. That's a great point you touched upon, because to live authentically is our number one priority as humans, because there's no point to put on a mask only to take it off down the road. And then what are you going to be tricking, yourself or your partner? They won't recognize you. So you might as well just come in with who you are, live authentically. I always say live authentically and passionately. Take each day for what it is. Enjoy it. Do it for yourself. Do it for your partner. If you're already in a partnership, always do it for yourself, because, they will not value if you forget about yourself. You have to, show up the way you normally would show up for anyone. Do it for yourself first, because that self-love is a huge instrument in alluring, attaching to anything or anyone on professional and in personal and romantic life. I mean, this is just, once you come in from a place of confidence and believe in yourself, the world is your oyster.
I know. I actually wrote a book many years ago. It's called Love Like a Lady, Lady. And the Y stands for be yourself, because that's the most attractive thing. But for some reason, I don't know if you've seen this, Alla, it's like, it is a life journey to get to a point where, at least for me, where I love and accept every ounce of me, which is the good, bad, and the ugly, right? This is just who I am. But I ended up in relationships where I tried bending over backwards and twisting and turning into somebody that I wasn't authentically as a person. And so it caused problems, and it's not fair to do that to somebody, then get married and then switch on them. It's not fair.
Not fair. No, it shouldn't be this way. I mean, look, people tend to maybe sometimes put masks on, as long as it's like temporary, just for the sake of, maybe, I don't know. I mean, again, masks are never good. But if you feel like you need like some kind of embellishment a little bit, it's okay. Just, for the sake of early stages, for fun. Back in the day, I used to wear like these ponytails that I loved. They were not mine, but I loved, that look. That was the fashion back then. So it's okay. Let's again, these kind of embellishments, I think, and they for fun purposes. And also it's very important to, once you are in the relationship, it's to change things up. It's so important.
Yeah.
Right?
So talk about what men over 50 actually want. And it may not be what we really think.
Yes. Can't really generalize this one because men over 50 going through their own stages and what that stage is in their individual lives determine the age group they will date. Sounds familiar?
Yes.
So basically, there are men, I actually work with them, in their 40s who want to date young for whatever reasons. I'm not going to disclose them now. But there are men in their 50s, again, for the same reason. And then there are men who are in their 50s that actually want healthy relationships that are more age appropriate to them versus the young. Because generally, again, for reasons, and there's so many, youth brings people to feel younger about themselves. So as a result, they navigate to younger groups of singles, younger women. So my men generally want the younger version, yes, at least 10 years younger than themselves. And then I do have others who are in their 50s and really know and very aware. And they are very authentic about themselves. And they just want, it's okay. I want in my age group because I want something solid. I'm not chasing youth. I am who I am. And they are in their element. They really self-aware on a grander scale. And I also have 60s and I have 70s men. And they in 70s, they actually want somebody in 60s. They, again, they've gone through their life. They've have their milestones. They have children, grandchildren, and they want just a life partner. I
was going to say companionship is a big one.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, companionship, a life partner to be able to go and retire, travel, whatever it is, build, because it's beyond that age of raising kids. It's now into the grandkid stage. And I have found it to be very true that companionship, is very meaningful as the older men get, to have somebody there.
And women, my eldest couple that I matched, she was 80 and he was 90.
Aww.
Till death, they were together. And they both said to me individually that they never thought this could be even happening because at that age, it was just not conceivable to them. Because that's why I always say love is timeless. You have to feel young at heart, want it enough, pursue it, take action. That's the only thing. You have to take action to pursue it and to fulfill your really needs and wants, desires. I mean, there's absolutely no reason. And how I introduced those two, I nailed that. I knew that I met him later. I knew her. And I just said to her, I have someone for you. She's like, what? She was at my age. I go, yes, he's a little older. And I literally put them together with help of his daughter. Literally put them together physically into one space. It was just completely orchestrated. I orchestrated the entire date for them. But I'm just saying, and they never even otherwise would never known this. They both widower, and a widow. I mean, so
what would you say? I would say, what do you say to somebody that's in the grind of the whole dating thing and wondering if they're ever going to find somebody again, or if there's somebody out there? What would you say to them?
Never give up on love. Never give up on yourself. If you loved and unfortunately broken from whatever reasons in your life and the way the path has taken you,
Hmm.
not give up on love. Because if you deep down want it and you could feel yourself being in a relationship, don't give up on that beauty. You just have to heal from that moment. If even if that moment you feel like, oh my God, it's impossible, I can't even imagine everything, all the grief I've gone through, all the pain that I've gone through. I can't imagine even starting over. And more importantly, how. Don't worry about the how. How I'm here. But you just need to know you for yourself enough to know you're worthy of love. You're worthy of another chance at love.
I,
Because
I always said to myself is like, I just haven't found the relationship that I've been wanting my whole life yet. That was the yet concept, and if I kept the yet in play, then I always kept my heart open to opportunities. I never in a million, I swear to you, I never in a million thought I would get married for the third time. Like I was hopeful, but I
mhm,
never knew it was going to happen as quickly as it did, and to the most amazing guy in the world. And it
wow,
doesn't mean that we're perfect. I always say that it does not need to be perfect to
totally.
be right. But it is so wonderful. And I love bringing people hope that even after a broken relationship, no matter how long it is, you can catapult from there, and you can create this beautiful space to have somebody. And I am so grateful to have somebody that sees me, values me, tells me often how much he appreciates me, which is not something I is experienced
Mhm.
um, before, but it was because I kept that yet in place.
Exactly. Becky, you did amazing. See, you never gave up. You never gave up.
No,
Despite of all the pain you've gone through, you did not give up. You knew that your person is out there, but you were intentional, I'm sure, right? Otherwise,
very intentional.
that's the very important piece to highlight here in this discussion, because people need to be intentional. When they tell me, oh, it's okay, God will has it, God will look out for me. God helps those to help themselves. That's why I respond, because it's important to be to understand that life is short. How
Mhm.
long can you wait if you're not intentional? Wouldn't you rather spend years together in togetherness versus searching, right? People
Yeah,
don't
you
think that way,
you just
unfortunately.
said something. I'm sorry, it kind of fleeted in and out because I was like, um, but I think it is so intentional. That's so I actually, and I don't even have it, but it's somewhere in this room. I have two journals that I was writing to my future husband since I was in my teenage years.
I love it.
And anytime I thought about him, I would write, I'd open up the journal and say, look, I'm thinking about you as a 15-year-old, right? I don't know where you are in the world, but I know we're going to find each other, and granted, I got married the first time. I handed the books to my first husband, and I don't remember even if he read it. My second husband definitely didn't read it, right? Because I was thinking maybe this is him. But my
Right.
third one, when we talked about it, he's like, Becky, I've been praying since I was a teenager too. And I'm just
Oh,
like, wow, and he was married for a very long time, my husband now. And it doesn't mean that his marriage was wrong or not part of his journey. It
right.
just it was we recognized each other when we found each other. That's
Exactly.
that's the important thing because I was so intentional. He is the man that I had
Soulmate.
imagined when I was a teenager.
Yes, he's your soulmate. You found him. Third time
Mhm.
around. Again, proves that love does not have any timing. It really comes when it comes, but you need to be intentional in finding it. And putting it off or burying yourself at work, that's not going to bring you closer to your goal. If you want love in your life, you need to be intentional, purposeful, live with purpose, live with intention, take care of yourself, come like in, like you feel it, you know it, what you want, who you want. If not, work on yourself. Absolutely. Just do some inner work, do some external work, whatever it needs to be done so you can show up in the best possible way, because competition is rough. I'll be honest with you, it's rough, but you know who you are, and you just be authentic to yourself, knowing that you deserve love, to be in love, to be filled with love, to be getting in the morning and get like I get good morning beautiful. I live with that. I can get used to it for the rest of my life,
I
obviously.
love that. Well, and it really is allowing yourself to feel. I know for me, I actually did quite a bit of writing this morning about two marriages, because I do writing every day. And, why did I get married the first time? Why did I get married the second time? What did I learn from it? Who did I become through it? Because that is really important. That's the work that we're talking about. And it doesn't mean that I haven't made mistakes, or it doesn't mean that I compromise myself sometimes and things like that. But I do have to say that getting to a certain point where I know my value, like I genuinely, and that's not egotistical, that's just like I know who I am and the value that I bring to this world, was really important place, because my second husband literally said to me, Becky, I'm having a hard time seeing the value that you bring to my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, here's the good news. I know the value that I bring to your life. Whether or not you choose to see it or not is none of my business. So the right one comes along and is like, oh my gosh, you're amazing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this feels amazing. Somebody sees me,
Yeah,
And,
that's beautiful.
but regardless if anybody else knows, we need to know within our own self who we are. And that will attract the right people to see it. And some people, like I said, givers and takers, right? I'm very intentional about having givers in my life that do see. And if you don't, it's not my job to convince you.
Right. Exactly. So exactly, when people come to me, they want to be matched, and they don't understand what kind of a process this is. It's a huge process to find that alignment for that person, for that individual. Like in terms of what, like I actually check off like 90%, more than 90. I don't want to say it on air, but more than 95 even percent, sometimes 100% of the boxes they want.
Mm-hmm.
But they have to understand that this takes a lot of time. So investing in the process it's really investing in themselves, in their future. I mean, the people who think that this is like this is just a quick, fix. It's not, and it takes a lot of time and effort. And I work with colleagues, in this process when need to be, and so we have a great network together, expandable, and we're able to serve many more people together. So it's really beautiful.
It reminds me of one last thing that I have been known to say is that you can't say the right thing to the wrong person, nor can you say the wrong thing to the right person.
Mm-hmm.
And I've experienced that, because no matter how many times I try to putting a square peg in a round hole, like, don't you see, don't you see, don't you see? And they don't see. And then I've also found, being in relationships with people that really see who I am authentically and genuinely, and they are like, you're amazing. And I'm like, there's nothing I could do wrong in their eyes. I'm like, are you serious? Do you not see all these faults that people have told me I have? And it doesn't mean that I don't have them. It's just, I always say, well, you may not be the right person for me to surround myself with or be in a relationship. And that's okay. Next.
Absolutely. You hit the nail on the head. It's absolutely spot on, because you do not have to be everything to everyone.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I love that. I think that is really, really important. So tell everybody thank you so much, by the way. And I'm sure we could talk forever, because
Sure.
there's so much in the dating experience. And one last thing I'm probably going to say, because I had felt a lot of loneliness also being in the dating world, because it gets really frustrating. It can get frustrating.
I know.
And I think for me, the loneliness was very difficult. I mean, I was excited at first to be divorced. I was like, oh, get out there. And then when it went on for like 6, 7, 8 years, and I was like, wow, like that's tough. But being around with other people that are in that realm and getting the support that they need is very vitally important. And getting coaches like you to help you to see what you don't see, like we said in the intro,
Mm-hmm.
that is just vitally important. So tell everybody where they get a hold of you.
Well, I'm always around on LinkedIn. That's like if you want to directly, contact me directly, just connect with me on LinkedIn and DM me. I'm always available, for a consultation, complimentary, of course. You can also go on my page, see what, speaks to you on my link on my website. And basically you can request an application to join my database, complimentary of successful singles like yourselves, whoever is watching right now. And I'm a global matchmaker and always happy to connect people in love who truly, authentically looking for meaningful connections. I do not work with casual, just putting it out there. Only whatever meaningful is to you, marriage, companionship, lifelong partner, whoever that person is for you, I will help you find them. Her,
Oh, I
anyone.
love it. You'll match them together, and you never know. You never know unless you try and you get into action. So I appreciate that. And
Of
thank
course.
you, Alla, for doing what you do, because it brings people hope that there is help out there, as they're navigating those dating waters, I should
But
say.
exactly. And one thing I want to actually touch upon
Sure.
quickly, Becky, you mentioned earlier in my intro, the power couple. I can't stress enough the importance that people just don't understand about individuality. Individuality is absolutely incredibly important as you are in a couple. That goes without saying. So when people come to me and say, "Oh, I'm so set in my ways. I can't even imagine somebody ruining my whole life. If I'm gonna have a partner." No, that partner is gonna amplify life. That partner is gonna skyrocket your productivity, your leadership, your everything, your whole world. If you're happy at heart, you will be happy in life on so many different scales. I can't even express enough, and I promise you that.
Absolutely. I always say they're the icing on the cake, not the cake.
Yeah.
You got to be whole as much as you can, and then they are like, "Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe that it would be this beautiful and amazing." And it really is worth waiting, and searching and being intentional about it.
Yeah.
Super important. So the last question I'd love to ask Alla is what does divorcing strong mean to you?
Divorcing strong. Whew. That's a power sentence. That's a power. It means that you, after divorce, are even better than you've ever been, because divorce is an opportunity to begin afresh, a new chapter, new beginning, new love, new relationship. That means whatever you walked away is called the past for a reason. We don't look back, we could move forward, and we take the world for what it is to us, that moment in time, and going strong and strong, from strength to strength, only higher and higher.
Oh, I love that because it really is the purpose is can we make this experience can we allow this experience to make us stronger? And I remember when I was going through my first divorce thinking, wow, I get to love again. I get to do this again. I get
Yes,
to, I get
exactly.
to, I get to fall in love again and do it the right way and take all the lessons that I've learned that were
Exactly.
unhealthy and create something beautiful.
Absolutely.
And it's
That's it.
it's true. It
Exactly.
happens.
Life is, it's not simple. Nobody gives you maps of how to navigate. We all go through struggles. I mean, also I have my own history of relationships that didn't work out. But you know what? That's how we learn and we grow from those experiences.
Mhm.
We're not getting stuck there. It's just important to
Absolutely.
take away those lessons. Very important. Not everybody takes away the lessons, those, but that's why there's coaching, available. That we show you the blind spot that you don't see, and this is why you keep going through the same patterns. But once we break those patterns and help you get through them, that's easy. Then you open your heart, and you'll be able to see things much more clear. So clarity is power. Clarity is king. You have to go forward in order to find what you're looking for at the end of the tunnel, as they say, right? Love is that.
Yep. And you said something very important is you got to have an open heart in order to receive.
Yeah.
So it's good to have people around you that can coach you into that because sometimes it's hard to love again,
Yes.
and to be willing to be vulnerable. But I know, absolutely know that when I did, I opened it up wide open for this beautiful man in my life. So it works.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Alla, for joining us today. And make sure you reach out to her. Go to her website. It's right there. And also all of her information is in the show notes. Reach out to her and see if you can work with her if you're moving on in after divorce, or if you're single, if you're watching this and you're single and you want to find love. So thank you so much, Alla.
My pleasure.
Just a second. All right, everybody. Oh my goodness. This takes me back into my dating coaching world. And for many years, I was helping people date and find the love of their lives. I wasn't ever a matchmaker. My goodness, she's probably way more potent, as I would say, because matching two people that you feel would be a good match is so vitally important, because sometimes we don't have the time to do all of the apps and do all of the sifting and everything like that. So reach out to her. I love that. And I love that she brings hope to people who sometimes feel hopeless. So thank you again for joining us on another episode of Divorcing Strong. I'm Becky Sampson with Alla Fine. And make sure that you reach out to us and check our audio platforms where all of our shows are at, as well as our YouTube channel, Divorcing Strong. And we'll see you on the next episode. Bye-bye. Thanks for listening to the Divorcing Strong podcast. This episode is sponsored by Only Subpoenas, where we make subpoenas simple, powerful, and 100% compliant. If you're having a hard time getting the information you need to settle for a fair and equitable divorce, let us help you. Whether you're an attorney or you're navigating divorce on your own, subpoenas can uncover the truth, secure the evidence you need, and level the playing field. To see how we can help, book an appointment by visiting our website at onlysubpoenas.com.